Hi and welcome to Classic Car Cave. So this is an add-on from the last video I put up about selling my 66 E Type 4.2. I haven't actually put it up or advertised it. I was gonna wait until sort of the end of April, May, when the salt's off the road, because obviously I'm not going to put it on the road until all the salt has gone and the summer and the better weather comes in. It's a fair weather car. So I wasn't going to advertise it until then. I did think about taking the car to Essen, the techno classic thing that they do at Essen, because it's a good place to sell, and it's actually quite reasonable. I think it's about 450, 500 euros to put it in to sell the car, but it's quite a long way from here to Essen and back, plus the hotel bills and that. So I've probably taken a couple of grand by the time I've done it. I would rather let the car go for a better price than piss around and spend a whole weekend of my life down there, even though I'd probably like to go and see the show, to be honest. Anyway, it's another story. Yeah, so what I want to do is I'm going to show you a little bit on the video of a car that I found on Car and Classics, which I use quite a lot, just to kind of get a reference. You know, at the end of the day, these things, like houses, they're worth what somebody's prepared to pay for it. It's as simple as that. It's not rocket science. You know, and I understand the dealers and people that are involved in this have to make their little bit out of it, or it's not worthwhile for them. I understand that totally. And if you get a restoration from somebody who maybe is not well known, or the fact that they're well known does not guarantee a good restoration. I know. I had a garage business, an MOT station myself. I've seen some pretty poor stuff in my time. Some bad bodges from so-called experts and so-called enthusiasts or so-called specialists. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I won't go down that road. That's a bit of a rabbit hole on its own. But the bottom line is that I don't have the overheads. Now, I've gone through the bills and everything else, and I know what I paid for the car. I know what I put into it mechanically. My hours I put into it, probably, as I said, 2,000 hours or so. You know, if I charge 70 euros an hour, it's 140,000 euros. But obviously I did it as a hobby. I've really enjoyed building the car. It's completely, everything on it has been shown on YouTube over the time that I started, from start to finish, warts and all, how bad the car was when I got it. And it's also in the Jaguar Club, the E Type Club magazine. I joined the E Type Club to get lots of information from them. And I was lucky enough to get from the first magazine they ever brought out. I managed to buy from a guy and bought the whole lot up until about 2 years ago, when I stopped being in the club, and then I went on to the XK Club. So it's all in it's a worldwide magazine, and it's all in every month that I did the restoration is in there, so you can look at every month's issue. To be honest, I can't even remember what it's called now. About 10 or 15 of these. So this is, for instance, the Jaguar E Type, and these are the booklets. So these will go with the car along with the hard top. I have a Jaguar factory hard top. The downside is the fittings are not with it, so it's still in its base coat. And I do have a new liner for it, a new internal liner, but I don't have the fittings, and they are not cheap. Probably for the perspex back window and all the chrome, we're probably looking at 3 or 4 grand. It's a lot of money, but I've seen these Jaguar factory ones go for 10,000 plus pounds, and even a copy is 6,000 pounds. So it's a pretty good deal. You very rarely find them with a regular. Nobody will sell them. They've got a Jaguar factory hardtop, they just won't sell because it'll bring the price of the car up. Anyway, as I said, so all these Jaguar, so this is the Jaguar E Type Club. The car's due for a service. It's only done less than 8,000 Ks, but it's been a while since the oil was changed, so I'm going to do a full service on the vehicle, because it needs it before the summer season comes, and probably in March I'll put the registration back on it, which, if you watch on a regular basis, you'll know is FF Jag1. I will use that number plate. That will not go with the car because it can only be used in Austria. That will go on to my XK150, so it'll be FF Jag1 as in 150. and I'll also use it on the XJ6 because it's a Series 1 car. Perfect. And the great thing about it, it cost me €90. So there you go. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the video. I wanted to show you this website that I found, Car and Classics, which I use quite a lot. And this came up, and at first I thought, hang on a minute, somebody superimposed my car on this site. But it's a company in the Netherlands, in Holland. And if you look, this is a 65, mine's a 66. £168,101, not euros, which is 202,000 something and a half or whatever in euros. Crazy. But yeah, when I first looked at it, I thought, no, they've superimposed it, but it is correct because I looked at the photographs, and I'll show you them now. But you can see it's saying it's gunmetal grey, but it looks similar to mine, like opalescent silver grey, but it might be gunmetal, but it looks a bit light for that, but it could be right. But the French blue seats that I put in mine, this is exactly the same. And I believe this was done in 2018-19. You'd have to read through. So it's on Car and Classics. So as you can see, the interior, apart from me having the original blank put radio in it, everything else is exactly the same. As I said, it's a 65 car as opposed, but that's the giveaway there. You see how this is attached to the door. Mine is on that chrome piece because I didn't want to drill holes in the door. The chrome piece can easily be taken off and changed or repaired. So I didn't want to go drilling holes, that's why I did it that way. And as you can see, it's almost like for like. The only difference is this rear tonneau cover here. Mine is a lighter blue than that. That's more of a dark blue. And my hood is the same colour as this, but not the tonneau that goes on it. But to be honest, you hardly ever use the tonneau. You don't need it, really. It's just an add-on, but it is with the car. But again, like I say, it's yeah. I mean, I was staggered when I saw this, the price. Of course, it's a dealer, ER Classics. There you can see, and their prices are pretty hefty, I have to say. And supposedly it's done, I can't remember, but I think 500 kilometers or something since restoration in 2019. So mine's an older restoration, but yeah, I mean it's got just under 8,000 kilometers, I think it is, or 5,000 miles. But there you see, it's exactly the same car. So what I'm asking, you know, 115,000 euros, and I think that's a reasonable price. Okay, I don't know the overheads that these guys have. Of course, they run in a massive showroom, and of course they have to make money out of it. But that is a very, very expensive car, and probably that's why it's been sat there as long as it has. I don't know how long it's been waiting to be restored. Again, that blue carpet that's been put in, that blue's been made because the E Type of this particular era only came in that beige colour. That was the original colour that came from the factory, so that is not factory. So when people talk about, oh, it should be the same as the original and all the rest of it, that they weren't colour coded. They were all the same colour because William Lyons was well known for keeping costs down. So I hope you enjoyed it so far, and particularly this other car, which really surprised me because I thought, oh god, it looks like somebody superimposed mine, because I'd not seen them in that colour combination before. Just to finish up, before I knock the video off, just to let you know, this is just some of the parts. So I've got basically everything, apart from, I think the only bill I don't have is for the paint, for the lacquer, as they call it in German, is for the paint, because I did a deal with a guy and it was cash. Don't tell anybody. It was a cash deal, and so that's not got any paperwork for it. But even the insurance for the car here, so we had a guy come out who does old-timers, as they call them here, or classic cars, and he inspects them for the insurance company to get a valuation. Now the valuation on this when the car was finished and on the road was €165,000, and I must admit I think the car's worth €130,000. I think it's worth that all day long, but you know, it could take me a year or 18 months to get that. So for 15 grand, I'm not gonna you know, worry about it, because I want it to be used and enjoyed. And basically all the heritage certificate is here. I've got so much stuff from this car, it's incredible. It just goes on and on and on. I mean, even this one here is just massive. There's so much paperwork with the car, and I had none with it, unfortunately. And even here, this is the registration document and everything for it inside here. This yellow thing is like your registration document, and then what you do is when you hand your registration plates in, they go into a vault. It's still insured for theft and fire and everything inside the garage, of course, but it's not insured for being on the road. So they take the plates back so you can't use the car, and it reduces the insurance a little bit over the winter time, which is good news. So you get a spare copy, but the other copy goes in a thing with the plates, and yeah, so there we are. But there is so much stuff here, it is just unbelievable. And as I said, everything that I have for the car, there's even a bunch of spare parts that came with the car originally. I mean, I need to move them anyway, and hopefully the person that buys it will want to keep them, maybe as mementos. Some of them are not worth keeping, but they are original from the car, and you know, just manifolds and God knows what, and I just let it go because I think the whole thing has to go. So all these magazines and books, and I think there's, I don't know, I can't even remember, what is it, 1, 2, 3, there's 10 or 15 of these, but they're only up to a couple of years ago when I stopped doing it, but it'd be easy enough to make it up. And this is from edition 1, which was whenever the E Type Club started in the UK. So they'll be going with the car as well, because I think it's a nice little thing to have, to see it in a magazine, the restoration, and the rest is on YouTube anyway. So on that note, as I said, I just wanted to do a follow-up so everybody understands what's going on. I thank everybody. I've put my email address on there if you want to contact me. But please, obviously, I want to sell the car. So if you haven't got a real interest in buying it, then, you know, or it's not realistic or whatever, please just, you know, I mean, if you want to make an inquiry, that's fine. But, you know, at the end of the day, I don't want to have a situation where I've got lots of people here that really have not got the money for it or not got the interest in it, and just want to come and look if they're close. I don't know how that's going to work out, but we'll take it as it goes. Anyway, thanks for watching. As usual, stay safe, keep the faith, enjoy your hobby, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.